Abusheni bokokwani. Greetings from Musoni. Tukulu abangoni nibandao. I'm back in the land of the pharaohs, baby. I'm back home. Live at Luxor at Medina Tabu, a temple of Ramesu the Third. So today we're going to be talking about the MuNTU origins of Montu Arts. The MuNTU origins of Montu Arts. Montu Arts are what people call martial arts. We don't use the term because martial arts derive from the Roman god of war Mars, and the Romans are the super latecomers. Even the Greeks are latecomers. The Romans are even worse. So we're not going to be adopting their lingo, bowing down to Greek and Roman gods. You know, those are umafigizolo. You know, so we're going to use the terms in its original form, and we're going to look at the combat tradition, the combat arts in their original form. And before I show you those, I want to show you that the purpose of these arts. We'll show you that we've been at war with these Asiatics for over 5,000 years. It's not a new war. It's not a new war. You can see these some Asiatics in trouble. They're in trouble, baby. Been messing with the MuNTU, the MuNTU king. And now a closer look at the arts. You see some tackling there. The one brother grabbing the leg of the other and with the arm over the shoulder. You see some original forms of judo. And over here you have the hand-to-hand combat combined with stick fighting. More of this combat tradition. So we'll be going into detail of how these Montu arts developed. And as you can see, this temple was actually built more than 3,000 years ago. There were no Romans during the time. The Romans came much later. There were no Greeks during that time. So this is what we're talking about. Going back to the origins, baby, you know? Y'all must stop bowing down to these Greek and Roman gods. So right now I'm at Kemet Temple and in the east bank of the Nile, of the Happy River. Iperesut, the ancient city of Iperesut, the greatest temple, the biggest temple, and the oldest temple. The biggest temple complex in the world. The Greeks, when they came to this city called Iperesut, they were so impressed that they called it the city of 100 gates. So before we continue, we're going to quickly explain who Montu is. So Montu is the ancient Egyptian god of war, and from this Bentrash stela we can see a reference to Montu, and it says good god Amen's son. It was making reference to Ramesu II, offspring of Harakti, glorious seed of the All-Lord, begotten of Kamutef, king of Egypt, ruler of the Redlands, sovereign who seized the 9 bows, whom victory was foretold as he came from the womb, whom valor was given while in the egg, bull, firm of heart as he treads the arena, godly king going forth like Montu on victory day. So behind me, you are looking at the red chapel of Pharaoh Hatshepsut and her successor nephew, Pharaoh Thutmose III. This chapel is highly looted. As you can see, most of the artwork has been chiseled out. However, we can still see, you can see behind me, are scenes from the Opet Festival. The Opet Festival is when Amun-Ra would would travel from here to Laxo Temple on a path of being reborn. So I just want to draw an important part that's related to combat sports from the Opet Festival. And that is a scene. So here you can see a musician playing the harp. And you can see the lady dancers doing the tumble, the flip. You can see them doing the flip. And I'm going to explain how this is relevant to the Montu Arts. So before anyone gets confused why we're talking about dancers in a discussion about combat, about fighting, we need to remember that fighting is a dance. You know, there's a dance of love and there's a dance of war. And there are war dances and so on. And at the end of the day, when you look at any form of combat sport or combat fighting, it's all about rhythm. You know, it's all about rhythm and flow. That's what fighting is all about at the end of the day. I mean, when you see Muhammad Ali in the ring, he'd be dancing, or whatever sports you want to look into. So the reason why I'm making a reference to the Opet Festival, of course, it is because of a specific dance that is related to the Montu Arts, or what people would call martial arts. And for us to fully understand that, what's the significance of the flip itself, we need to go into inner Africa, where these traditions continue to live on, where we can understand how the certain dance moves or certain fight moves came out to be. So we're going to look at some of the still living combat traditions within the African continent, or where we are in the African continent, but in south of the Sahara. The first one I want us to look into is the Kandeka slap boxing. You can see the brothers in combat, and this is one form of, it's called an open hand Kandeka. And then the one form that specifically uses the flip, where one goes on their hands, they balance on their hands, you oppose your normal walking position, your hands on the ground become the feet and the legs become the hands. It's called the Engolo fight. So while the Engolo fighters utilized kicks and sweeps for attacks, they relied on acrobatic evasion for defense. So this is why I brought in the acrobatics, the ladies from the Opet Festival doing the acrobatic dance. Unlike the slap boxing Kandeka, there were no blocking movements in Engolo. Rather, the Engolo adept had to be able to go over, under, and nimbly blend to escape any attack or situation. The beauty of the art was in the defensive agility, the all-important ability to dodge oncoming blows and escape from attempted traps. This was highlighted by Engolo's song, Kauno Chivelo Kwali Tolondo, which could be glossed as you don't have a door, maybe jump over. So there's no way of escape. But spoke to finding an agile way out of any attack, as well as to the wider trade of cunning in the sense of executing creative solutions to difficult situations. An Engolo expert was expected to be able to gracefully dodge kicks and arrows aimed at him or evade the charge of a bull with flips. It was this ability to defend oneself with ducks, twists, leaps, and even flips when necessary that made the Engolo a practical part not only of unarmed self-defense but also of battlefield combat. And out of the ancient Engolo, the enslaved Africans from the region where Engolo was practiced formed what is known as capoeira that was developed in the Southern Americas, in Brazil to be specific. So the literature I made reference to is from this text right here, Fighting for Honor, the History of African Martial Art Traditions in the Atlantic World. And in this part of the text, the author explains how the flips came into being. And he says here in the introduction in the text, it says, in the case of Engolo, this worldview emanated out of the Kalunga paradigm, the Kalunga cosmogram we see in the ancient Congo. And he continues, while living in Angola, I came to understand that the term Kalunga was used to identify aspects of natural world, oceans, rivers, lakes, caves, and the supernatural world, the ancestors, God, and the land of the dead. These seemingly disparate terms were brought together by an entire cosmological system that understood bodies of water to be bridges connecting the lands of the living and the realm of the dead. In reference to the spiritual realm linked to these bodies of water, Kalunga invokes an inverted world where ancestors walk with their feet up. This gave birth to the martial art that relied on supporting one's body with the hands and kicking while upside down. Masters of the art who were forced to endure the Middle Passage spread this aesthetic tradition of inverted kicks throughout the Americas. And so, according to the author, this is how we ended up with the art of flips. So a kick with a flip is a kick from the ancestral world. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to press that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, press the subscriber button, press that notification bell. Ancestral Intelligence with Musoni. I hope you enjoyed the natural music from the sound of the birds in the background. Till next time, peace and Bantu power.